Hi, my name is Jeanette Godoy. I'm a first generation Mexican American writer and director, mother of twins who are in college. Hello, thank you very much. And two stepsons. And I am just out there working in the business, hustling, trying to make a living as a creative person.
First of all, it's wonderful to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I'd like to start our conversation off by asking you, what do you think people's first impression is of you?
Ooh. I'm definitely I'm a friendly person, and I also enjoy meeting people and getting to know people. So I would say, yeah, I'm not super over the top, but I would say I'm approachable and just a friendly person.
Nice. Do you think people would say you're like the life of the party, or you kind of hang back a little bit?
You know, I mean, I'm the first grandchild born in the U.S. in my Mexican family, so I am kind of the baby of the family, even though I'm the eldest, and I am the first one that's going to start drinking the tequila and start the dancing at the party. I'm very family-oriented person, so I love that kind of thing, but I'm not like a big Hollywood schmoozer, networker kind of person. That's not me.
Did you say how many siblings you have?
I have 6 siblings.
Wow.
Yeah, but I must have easily over 30 cousins. I mean, both my parents have big families. My dad has 9 brothers and sisters, and my mom has 7, so it's like tons of cousins, big family.
And you said you were one of the first born here in the U.S.?
Yeah, so on my dad's side of the family, my father's a Mexican immigrant. I'm the first child in his family born in the United States. Yeah.
Tell me about growing up.
I grew up in Riverside, California, and suburban, kind of multicultural sort of neighborhood and schooling, which was great. I grew up as a dancer. I was trained as a classical ballerina and moved into sort of other forms of dance during high school. And just very close to my Mexican family, going for carne asadas every weekend at my grandmother's house, and very close to all my cousins, and just a big camping in Mexico every holiday with a big family kind of thing. That's how I grew up.
And now you yourself have twins.
I have twin daughters, yes. Someone should have told me it was going to be the most expensive and the hardest job on the planet, because honestly, these girls are bleeding me dry. I love them. I have to say I'm 100% codependent on them and being a parent. It's the best gift in life, but it is so much work. But I'm very proud of them. One of them is going to the University of Texas in Austin, and the other one is at USC.
Very cool. I was going to ask if they ended up going to the same school or not.
Yeah, no. They needed a break from each other, which is good.
So your husband is Jordan Brady, who we did an interview with as well.
Uh-huh.
And there's something that you said a moment ago that tells me why you guys fit so well together. From my perspective, is you're both so family oriented and so family first. And he talked about how being a father is first and foremost for him, and he loves nothing more than his family.
Yeah, I mean, look, we are literally the Brady Bunch come together. He came with 2 boys, I came with 2 girls. And the beauty of our relationship, aside from the fact that we love each other so much, is that we completely respect how much our children and each other's children come first in life. He is super close with his boys, and I love and adore them both as well. And I'm super close with my girls, and he loves and adores them. But it was a no-brainer that our kids were going to be our priorities. And I think some people struggle with that when they marry into a family with other people's kids. You don't get that. For instance, before my girls went back to school this year, I wanted to take a little trip with them. I usually take some kind of trip with them every year, but COVID and all of that. And it's no issue for Jordan whatsoever. The girls and I need to have time together And he has no problem with that. Or he loves to go camping in Joshua Tree with his boys. And it's like, great, go do your thing, go be together, go be. And yet we can all, you know, be together and have holidays together, although it's different now that they're all adults. Like, everything's changed. But I love that about our relationship, that we know that our kids come first and we prioritize that, and that's great.
The priorities are in balance.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that a large part of that is communication, and that's key to every relationship. And the fact that you said that you both knew that, the fact that you probably communicated that to one another and were upfront and open, starts things off in a positive way, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was clear to me how much he loved his boys, and it was clear to, I mean, everyone loves their kids, I'm not saying that, but there is, you know, there are certain kind of people. I facetiously call it codependent. Like, it's just like, we're just so in love with our kids, so, and we get it about each other, so that's great.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that creates, like you said, this beautiful pseudo Brady Bunch family.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What is something that would surprise people to know about you?
Well, a lot of people don't currently know, they may have known in the past, but I choreographed a pop music video kind of hit, which is called Baby Got Back.
Stop it! This is probably by far the biggest surprise statement I think anyone's ever said.
Oh, it trumps everything.
Everything. That's fantastic.
I know. He was actually the coolest, smartest, nicest guy. And I was 21. I mean, it was crazy. And he would take me with him like to the record company and introduce me to everybody, and he was super cool. So yeah, and that just sort of popped my choreography career off. Like, it got me so many other jobs, and it was just a really like amazing and fun experience, and it's just sort of trailed with me all these years, because and Jordan's always the one who's like, you have to tell people you did that. I'm like, I don't know, it's so long ago, I don't know, but it is pretty wild.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's really so cool, and so endlessly relevant.
I know, it's just crazy.
So tell me, obviously you said in your intro that you would dance, or actually maybe not in your intro, but you said in conversation that you had danced. So is that what led you to choreographing?
Yeah, so I grew up as a ballerina, but I always kind of had that sort of the other rhythm. My dad used to love to salsa dance, he still does, so he always taught me when I was a kid, and you know, at Mexican parties, cumbias and things like that, we would always dance. So, I mean, a lot of ballerinas can't do hip hop. It's just, you get that sort of, your body gets trained the opposite direction. Ballet is all about being up and you know, long, and hip hop is about being down and low. Went to school at UCLA after high school, started taking classes out here in LA. I was working at a law firm while I went to school, and every lawyer was like, don't be a lawyer if you have something else that you love to do. If you love being a dancer, go be a dancer. So I auditioned for and got a dance agent. I started doing dance jobs and, you know, commercials and things like that. Didn't really love the auditioning process. Wasn't my favorite thing. I wasn't really that great at it, to be honest. But I always loved choreography. Like, since I was a little kid, I would always choreograph the talent show routines. I would choreograph, even when I was at UCLA, I would make up the audition routines for my friends who were trying out to be UCLA cheerleaders and things like that. I was always a choreographer. So I just thought, I'm gonna try choreography. And I did. I just started doing kind of like some free gigs, and then producers would hire me for other things. And then, you know, eventually I got Baby Got Back, and from Baby Got Back, I choreographed a film called CB4 with Chris Rock, and then, you know, I started working with a female rapper in Puerto Rico, and I choreographed her concert tour in Japan and Spain, and just like, it just kind of went. It was good. Super fun. Traveled around the world. Had the best time. I mean, dancers are amazing. They're the funnest people. So just really great times of my life.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
What an adventure.
Yeah, super cool.
How very fun. So you transitioned from in front of the camera per se to behind the scenes per se.
Yeah.
So talk about that transition. Like, tell me about mentally going from the front to the back.
You know, honestly, I was choreographing a commercial, and I was in the casting, and I was with all the director and producers, etc. And I don't think this happens anymore to this degree, but the way they were talking about the talent, okay? And people don't have the right look or her nose or his teeth or what. When I started hearing all of those comments, it actually like gave me a panic attack. Like, it was just like, I can't be on that side anymore, because now in my head, I'm thinking all the things that they're thinking about me. So I really try not to be that person as a director now and just focus on performance. But of course, so many things have happened to be about look. Like, are you the right look for it? But yeah, that was sort of the end of my performing days. But again, since I was always a person who choreographed, it was really easy for me to just, I prefer it. I don't want to be a performer. I want to be, telling people what to do, essentially. And in terms of dance, like, I realized that I preferred dancing in the classroom. Like, taking class was sort of my joy than being a dancer on a 15-hour music video shoot. Like, I hated that as a dancer. So I don't know. It was pretty simple for me.
I still love it. Such a cool, always an adventure, it sounds like, for you. And just the next thing, and fun and energy.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, I continue to try to evolve creatively, now into directing and writing and things like that. Just like, I want to just keep expanding as a person and not just stop in one spot and stay there. I'm too restless for that.
So let's talk about that directing and writing. And that seems like, you went, like you said, from dancing to casting to choreographing, now to directing, and I'm going to guess writing some of the things that you've chosen to direct.
Yeah, I mean, so I initially thought I would direct music videos because that seemed like something I would do. But in fact, I started directing commercials, mostly because of Jordan. He directs commercials and he sort of mentored me. And, I knew so much about the commercial world through him. And so I did direct a commercial. The first thing I directed ended up going to the Cannes Advertising Festival and, got me into like Shoot Magazine's new director showcase and Shots Magazine and all these things. It went really well. It's still a tough gig for a woman. Of course there are more women directing now, but it's still tough. Like, you don't see women doing a lot of big, beer campaigns or car spots or things like that. I mean, I just think it's still, not simple for women. But, I've been really lucky. I've had some great experiences. I worked a lot with Nike for a while, working on their athlete videos, like their workout videos, which came to me because of choreography and like my sense of the body and how the body should look, etc., and correct posture and that kind of thing. Traveled the world doing that with them. I mean, so amazing, working with a lot of their pro athletes. So that was fun. And then one of the best things I did was I made a documentary about dancers who have Down syndrome. And that, I have to say, is like sort of my most fulfilling and proudest creative endeavor of my career thus far. Like, it just is something that brings me so much joy, and it was such an amazing project to do. So I'm really proud of that.
What was it called?
It's called Free to Be Me. And it's based on a group of dancers. There's a dance class here in Santa Monica for dancers who have Down syndrome. And I happened to see them perform one day and just thought, I have to do something with them. Like, I really have to do. I didn't know what it was, but I decided to make a documentary, and it was a wonderful experience.
Where can I watch it?
I'll send you the link. It's on Vimeo. It's on YouTube. But I mean, I've had people write to me from around the world and say, I just had a baby with Down syndrome 6 months ago. I didn't know what her future could be. And then I watched your film, and it gave me hope that I can help my child have like just an everyday, normal kind of life. So it's really cool.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, really cool.
That is really beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And another connection I can tie between the two interviews is you and Jordan loving to give back. So what another strong bond.
Oh yeah.
An amazing, beautiful gift.
Yeah, I mean, he worked with me on it. All of our kids worked on the doc with me and helped and PA'd, or my daughters volunteered in the dance class, to help be like they call them, it's like their special assistant kind of a thing for some of the dancers that needed additional help. And, it was sort of a family affair, and it was a big learning experience for all of us, because previously I had no idea about, people with Down syndrome and what their lives were like, and I thought I was going into it and I would interview them and they would tell me what it was like to dance, and in fact many of them couldn't really make it through an interview, and so it became about their families and what their families wanted to do for them to help their children or their young people have like the best lives possible, which is what we all want for our kids. So it's really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have to ask you the question of what your favorite project was because you just told me.
Yeah, no, that's been an amazing project. I mean, I'm currently working on something that's really, special to me. I wrote a screenplay that made it to the semifinals for a Sundance Lab. And from that screenplay, I've adapted it into a pilot, and I have it in development right now. And it's a Latino young adult like dance drama. So it's like, Friday Night Lights meets Step Up, and it's like an all Latino cast, and it's a family, like a family drama, and in the dance as its main, sort of core. And I'm really excited about it because I did not grow up seeing people like me on TV. I don't see mainstream Latino content. It's just not out there. There's one show here, one show there. I just directed my first TV episode for HBO Max for a show called The Garcias. And again, it's finally going to be a mainstream Latino family. It's not the immigrant story. It's not the Narcos story. It's not the Gardner story. It's just like, we're just normal people living normal lives just like everyone else. So, that's the kind of thing that's really important to me going forward with my career, is to highlight that, the part of our culture that just isn't being seen.
You sound like a tremendous advocate.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be. I definitely try to be. If I'm not going to be, who's going to be? You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, exactly. And it has to start somewhere, right? And you started the conversation advocating for your children, for your family, for your husband, for your stepchildren, for yourself, for your career, for others in your film, and now for cultural things that are important to you, for your heritage, for your people, and for women. And that's a lot. But really, it is a lot, and that is impressive. I mean, I've used up all my fingers, so I want to go to my toes. I mean, to count off all those things, for one person to embody such passion and to be in your presence, I feel the energy and just the enthusiasm that you have for all of those things I just literally listed off. And I'm so grateful with all those things that you found time to sit down with me today.
Thank you. I appreciate you including me. I know you're meeting with a lot of incredible people, and I just do think it's important to, just to get it out there into the world and talk about what people are doing. And, I had no clue that being a filmmaker was even an option growing up. My father comes from poverty. It's not something that, we ever thought was, like I said, a possibility. But now that I'm in it, and now that I see, I have to use my voice. I have to use my voice to help other, young women, Latina women, people with disabilities, take a hold of their own message and, put it out there in the world.
Well, I'm excited for all the things that you've done and all the things that you're going to do. And please keep me abreast of what's up next and share it. I will share it out. We will spread the word. We will help advocate. I'm all for helping people have a voice, evidently, as I do these interviews, empowering people to share their stories and to share their voice and be heard. So thank you again.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you one final question to close out our conversation.
Sure.
As you are out there dancing, directing, momming, taking your trips with your daughters on set, if you could hold up a sign that says one thing about you, what would you want people to know about Jeanette?
Wow. That's not something I've ever pondered. Leslie? I guess one of the things is that I truly care. I care about people.